Yes, and we're here again with Jazz Matters. We're doing our podcast today. We're hoping to interview the great piano player, organ player, Mr. Mose Davis. And right now I'm here with Vaughn Coulter until Mose is able to link up with us. What's going on today, Vaughn?
Oh man, it's Thursday. We're moving through the week. We're approaching Thanksgiving, and so But here at Yes Jazz Matters, we are continuing on with this never-ending series, which I hope it never ends, because of the number of musicians that we've had an opportunity to interview on this program. Mose Davis is one of the most legendary in the city of Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I definitely heard his name as soon as I got to town.
Okay.
As one of the people to go out and check out and everything. So, and my experience was I I guess when I met him, it was in a small jazz club upstairs in a place on a Peachtree,
Mhm.
and we I got a chance to listen to him, and he was working with a singer at the time named Bernadine Mitchell.
Okay.
Now I did not really know Bernadine, but my wife knew Bernadine, and so she went up there to basically see her. That's how I got to actually. That was my first introduction to Mose. That's
Okay.
it's been a lot of years now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that was my first introduction to him. Other than other musicians that had basically gave me some insight on some of the things he had done, and I do know that he had worked with Hamilton Bohannon
Right.
back in the day, and he also had I think he had his own group, the Counts,
Right.
and so we'll get him to talk about them and Bohannon. And who we just lost, didn't we? We just lost
Yeah, we lost
Bohannon.
him at this about 2 months ago.
No, it's been
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, about yeah, yeah. I know it was been a while because the last time I saw him, we were doing a memorial for another musician friend of mine, Teresa Hightower,
Yes.
and he was there at that memorial, and he had some things he needed to say about the whole
Right.
situation.
Hmm.
So that was the last time I saw him, and I found out that he had passed away a few months ago.
Right. Right.
Yeah. But Moses here, I guess, to make sure that we can get to also shine a light on Bohannon because he was an influential musician in the area.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just reading some little bio stuff on Mose, he's had a pretty expansive repertoire uh, during his history in the music business. And it always seems like at the beginning of a lot of these guys venturing in, where they come from, they spend some time in conservatories and schools of music, and then all of a sudden, it immediately transpires where they go into a certain level of jazz for a while, and then they do some R&B and soul and funk, and then how his career was kind of rejuvenated through the hip hop industry. Just reading just a little stuff that came up was quite interesting to see, and it seems as though that's the track of a lot of musicians who came up during that time period in the 50s and the 60s, and where they came from and where they are now. It's just the comparisons are just uncanny, but I think that happens. I think that happens over time.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost inevitable for a lot of musicians that it goes that way because once you're in a really good musical institution,
Mm-hmm.
you're exposed to so much, and you it is an energetic feeling that you have to where you keep pushing forward. You're pushing yourself. Other musicians push you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of those things where you have to expand your scope of music. It's a must. You have to you have to do some of the R&B feel and some of the jazz and pop and whatever else it is, because a lot of times, everybody can't be, uh, you know, uh, a classical musician forever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For all their lives. I mean, even those who are classical musicians, they tend to be exposed to other things in the culture of music.
Right.
Not that they have to go and pursue those, but the thing is they are there. And see, there's always an audience for everything. You can have an audience. Basically, that's all they want to hear is classical. And just as
Mm-hmm.
well as an audience that wants to hear just jazz. You see what I'm saying? So the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, but as a musician, going into all of the different genres of music, it's like a never ending, you can latch on to one, but for whatever reason, something else pulls you into something, another field.
Right.
And,
Right.
it's basically caused from different things. Like some people will take a player that's a jazz player, but
Mm-hmm.
for some reason his playing or interpretation of jazz, a person that loves R&B can feel it, you see. uh and then would ask them, had you ever done, R&B, that kind of thing, and they may say no. But it's putting something, planting a seed in his mind that
Uh-huh.
that's something, I might want to try some of this, because
Right. Right. Right.
that's about it. And you go for it, you know what I'm saying. uh
Sure.
but other than that, now that we are moving on here in 2020, what are your thoughts on the arts in the upcoming season of next year? Because
Um.
if things go right, now I'm saying this, like, if things go right,
Mm-hmm.
and we get a different administration, it's a possibility everybody will expand. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody that wants to, let's say it like
Mm-hmm.
that, they will expand, and even in the culture of jazz,
Mm-hmm.
simply because you have people that are passionate enough to listen to them, and passionate enough to understand where the need is. So, what do you think is coming up? Let's say next year, and we'll basically, uh, we'll be hopeful that it happens. Let's say it like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I figured that we've been, kind of like in hibernation for quite some time now. So I think that, it's like a bear waking up sleep out of its hibernated period, and all of a sudden it kind of peeks his head around the cave to see what's going on around him, and all of a sudden, he realizes it's spring again. So I think that that's going to be our nature as artists and voices in the culture. That's going to really jump at the opportunity to expand what we're presently doing while we have been quarantined. And so it's just going to be, I think it's going to be a great time, a mighty explosion of talented people and people that want to talk about the art. And it's all, you kind of feel like I'm hoping for a renaissance. That's what I'm hoping for, to tell you the truth. I'm looking for a renaissance period to transpire for 2021 and beyond, because we've been kind of like isolated, kept under wraps for a while, and you know, keeping in touch with the artistic community, especially a lot of actors and directors and people that want to do stuff. It's just going to be an explosion of the arts again, um, probably all over the world for that matter. You know, so I'm looking forward to that. I really am.
Mhm.
And jazz is going to have its mark to be made once again, because what you're doing with jazz matters, and the possibility of absolutely doing concerts you know and being able to use the platforms that are out there today. Why not? You know,
Yeah.
why not?
And as a matter of fact, we're at Jazz Matters. We're definitely hoping for the best because we're already planning. We're preparing uh, to make sure that we can deliver the events in both formats, like
Mhm.
in both the virtual as well as the live format. And
Absolutely.
and I've talked to a lot of musicians, that are eager. They're like boiling over. They're so ready. You know what I mean?
They're chomping at the bit.
I mean, man, it's like they're so ready for the fan base. What I'm saying, feeling of being a performer,
Right, right.
and yes, I am one of them. So so that's the way it goes. I am one of them, and but all in all, I think we'll have a pretty good go at it next year, providing the people that the powers that be, let's say it like
Mhm.
that,
Right,
well,
exactly.
do the right thing. As long as they do the right thing, I think we'll get through this thing pretty
Absolutely.
easily. If I might even say, there's been some there have been some concerts, uh, of course, a small amount, but they're happening in different locations. But
Hmm.
right now, the bulk of that is actually a lot of streaming, and that's all good too.
Right.
We're also looking at the theater community bouncing back, and I think and now that's going to be very large also, uh,
Absolutely.
because there's a lot of people that love theater, and I can tell, you can, by just talking to a lot of people, how they miss it. They
Oh
they
yeah.
realize it's a void.
It's a huge void. Huge void.
Right. And I think that they'll be bouncing back just as hard as uh,
Hmm.
the musical side of it, or the musician side of it. And
Listen, the
uh,
creative spirit is, I was going to say, the creative spirit is hard to contain. And you
yeah,
should know that. It,
yeah,
it is hard to contain. And like I said, I've, spoken with a few, uh, read some comments from a lot of them and how they're, can't wait to start doing what they love to do. Their passion is that's where it's at, you
right,
know, and it's back to work as artists and creators and influential, people that want to get busy again. So,
yeah,
we're all looking forward to that.
right. I think I'm gonna probably have try to also get a few of the radio other radio hosts, because you are one of them. But you and I, we're like partners in this situation. Yeah,
Exactly.
and just to get their take on the changing of the guard, so to say, as well as what it's going to do for the music,
Oh
and the
yeah,
culture of the music.
because the other voices are valuable. I know a few of them, and I think that they have a lot to add to the future of the culture of jazz and where it's headed, and what are going to be some of the challenges it's going to meet in the next 10, 15 years. So, well, let's not go that far. How about 1 year from now?
Yeah,
So
and now that's going to be the challenge of challenges.
it's another 1 year from now,
Yeah,
or less than that, like a couple of months.
yeah,
So, what are going to be some of the challenges it's going to have to meet?
that
And so,
that's going to be very interesting. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
even though they may have to, it may be it's just going to be a challenge. It's so interesting to me to find out exactly how all this turns out. And but you can't have it both ways, so to say. You either got to do the right thing, and in defeat, you just bow out gracefully. If
yeah.
that's the case.
That's yeah.
So that's about it. I'm having a technical difficulty here, so go ahead and start on the other topics that you wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh, just moving forward, uh, we were just discussing a few minutes ago about a lot of stuff that hasn't changed much, or the music, you know, it stands, it has its legs, what I call, and no matter what time period it is, what what level it was played at, what generation it comes from, there's not much that has changed in the focus of what I call soul. And so, it's always going to be uh, a sound that will have its place in no matter what type of music you listen to. Um, Soul is the essence of all things musical, and it is born out of human nature. It is the essence that connects us with the universe. And you know, it's infectious. It doesn't matter where you come from, what race you are, what status of financial status you come from. It doesn't matter if you come from a bad neighborhood or a very wealthy neighborhood. Soul has a way of connecting you with who you are in relationship to the universe. And artistically speaking, that is a wonderful place to be, because the best art forms are generated through soul. Painters, sculptors, musicians, actors, directors, cinematographers, photographers, they have a certain soul about their art form and what they do. And you can see it in their work, or hear it in their work, or watch it perform within their work. So that's going to be a major focus of the next 10 years. I think it's just going to be a transformation of soul. And I think that's the next movement that's going to take place in the art world for some time to come, because it's something that, it hasn't been there in a while. And that's something that we've had an opportunity in our uh, um, in our sedentary world right now. We have no channel, no place else to go but inward, and to be able to project those things on a creative level. I think it's just going to be a wonderful time leading into next year and beyond. So, we've got a lot of great musicians that are yet to be heard. We have some current that are going to be making some inroads and some adjustments and some transitions to make that, to bring back soul in their music. And so, I think it's a wonderful thing that's about to take place. I call it, just another renaissance that is bound to happen. It's something right around the corner, and I can feel it in my soul. Right now, we're still waiting to get with Mose Davis, the legendary Mose Davis, Atlanta musician. And you're in tune to, or you're watching, Yes, Jazz Matters. My name is Vaughn Coulter of Jazz Beats Radio. And I have a show on Jazz Beats Radio that is produced weekly, live and in person with yours truly. And it's called Soulscapes, hence the word soul. So that's the connection. That's the connection I have with the music, with the generations that have played it, and the generations beyond that have the ability to recapture that again in that rebirth type thing. So, but my show does come on weekly and weekends as well. So tune in sometime. You'll be surprised on what you hear. Because on my show, good music has no expiration date. Um, I'm cross all generations. I can only go so far, but from the time I was born up until now. So that's about 60 plus years. I kind of dwell back sometimes into the music of the 1950s as well. But it's an incredible sound, and there have been incredible artists. The greatest that have ever done it, and the ones that are considered, icons at it. Louis Armstrong, Dizzy Gillespie, uh, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Dave Brubeck, uh, Chet Baker, Duke Ellington, you name it. I just, I try to expand that base, and then you get the 1960s, of course. Of course, that was the time period when I was born as a child. So you get uh, Stanley Turrentine, you get Hank Mobley, you get Horace Silver, you get Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter. My gosh, the list goes on and on. And you've got these other different levels of music that go into certain generations. You get your fusion, which was led by Miles, and the family that spawned from that collaboration was Michael Henderson, Ray Parker Jr., uh, James Antume, Reggie Lucas, um, uh, John McLaughlin, Joe Zawinul, Cannonball Adderley. It expands and expands and expands. So that bridges into later on what was known as jazz funk, which put out there guys like Donald Byrd and the Mizell brothers, and just a plethora of other funk jazz musicians. Gene Harris in particular.
Are you with me?
So we are now getting ready to hook up with, hopefully, got this issue taken care of. And so it looks
Okay,
like we're
hold on
getting
a
ready
second.
to start.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I
Okay.
was trying to get Mose on
All
audio.
right. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me, Mose? Okay. The only thing is I'm not getting your audio. Check your audio icon there where your little microphone is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing that so that I can make sure you're coming through the computer. Okay, Vaughn,
Yes, sir.
you might be able to help Mose out.
Okay.
Okay. Now he's
Is he trying to turn his audio on?
yeah, he's trying to get the audio on.
Okay. There should be a small microphone to the lower left-hand side of your phone, and it should have a red line through it. If you touch that little microphone right there, that means you have activated your audio.
All right.
So go ahead and hit that little red line, the microphone, and then you should be able to come in.
Yep. Now, are you getting any audio?
I don't hear anything yet.
Okay, speak. Can you hear me, Mose? Hold on one second. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hey, Vaughn.
Yeah.
Ask him what his icons look like on his phone because I'm using my computer. I thought they would
Yeah.
probably be the same.
Mose, this is Vaughn Coulter of Jazz Beats Radio. What do your icons look like below in the left hand corner or on the right hand corner of your phone screen? What do they look like?
I don't know if he can hear you or not.
Yeah, I don't think he can.
Okay. I am not sure. So Maj,
Hmm.
oh, I see.
Oh, I hear you.
Okay, can you get it? Okay, Mose. Okay, he's reconnecting to audio.
Okay.
Okay, he should be up in a few. Now, can you hear us from your can you hear us from your phone, from your computer? Whichever one you're on. Okay, he's on his phone.
Okay.
I think he's backing out and coming back in. But anyway, you can keep talking until he figures it out. Yeah, I see where his microphone is muted. He needs to unmute it.
Right.
Yeah, Mose, I saw where your microphone was muted, so you need to unmute it.
You are currently watching Yes Jazz Matters, the podcast for Yes Jazz Matters, the nonprofit organization dedicated to the preservation of America's original art form, and is headed up by Edwin Williams,
Yeah.
the Edwin Williams, bassist and musician.
Right.
And
Yeah,
we
we're
are
trying.
in the middle of trying to get our next Atlanta legend to talk with this afternoon. His name is Mose Davis. And we're looking forward to this conversation. Mose is a legendary musician in the city of Atlanta, and he's had a pretty illustrious career over his time being in this art form known as jazz.
Right. So Mose had had you got your audio?
I've got the audio. Can you hear me?
Say again.
Can you hear me? I've got you.
No, I don't have you on. From where I'm looking at, your microphone is still muted. There's still a mute signal on your mic from my end. In other words, you got to find that little microphone down by your Samsung logo there. It's showing that it's muted. So Moses, unmute. Yeah, you got to unmute your phone. It's trying to tell me to tell you to unmute your microphone on that icon at the bottom left hand side of the screen.
All right, can you hear him now?
Oh, I got him now, loud and clear.
Oh,
all right, Lawrence Jennings helped me there.
Thank
Great
goodness.
jazz drummer. Okay, I'm ready for you. Let's
All
go.
right. All right. Well, let's go. Since you're on the move right now, we might as well keep you going.
Yeah.
Since you're on the
Musician, old school, new school, slumps me, as you can see.
move. Don't worry, technology, it'll catch up with us. Don't worry.
I hear you. I hope so.
You notice I said it'll catch up with us. We don't have to catch up with it. It's got to catch up with us.
I hear you. I hear you.
All right, Mose. We're going to go ahead and get you to put your phone in a situation because your hand is covering your face. There you go.
Okay.
All right. Now I can come out of hiding.
Okay.
All right. Oh, there we go. Now I'm out
there
of
we
hiding
go.
now.
Hey, there he is.
You're looking great.
Hey, man.
And that's Vaughn, the other gentleman,
Yeah, that's
right?
Vaughn.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
Vaughn. That's from Jazz Beats Radio.
Vaughn in the house. Okay, my
Vaughn
pleasure.
yeah,
Yes,
man.
we
Now,
are.
now
We
we
are
got
together.
ladies and gentlemen, to introduce you all over again. We have here the legendary Mose Davis, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And Mose, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it because I know it's been rough, with the technology and everything going
Oh,
on.
yes.
But aside of that, just give people some of your background, Mose. Me and Vaughn was trying to do that earlier. And of course, we'd rather hear it coming from you.
Okay. Well, I was first, my love really hit for music back when I was very young. I listened to a lot of Jimmy Reed, the blues guitarist and harmonica player, and Howlin' Wolf.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
I was into all that because my parents played it. So
Yeah.
so I had the love of the blues from an early on date.
There you
And
go.
then all of a sudden I heard Jimmy Smith, and I was really hooked on that. After that, when I
Wow.
heard Jimmy Smith, that was it for me.
Yeah,
You know.
because I know you heard some of that blues in what he's doing, what he was doing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know
He
what I'm
could
saying?
play the blues,
Yeah,
but he could also swing, and
right.
so like I was hooked then.
Uh-huh.
And then on the piano side, I heard Ahmad Jamal, and I was done.
Wow.
It was
Oh,
Yeah,
over.
okay. Yeah. So it was over then, right?
it
It
was
was
over.
over.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Did you were you born here in Atlanta or for the school
Actually,
here?
I was born in Birmingham, Alabama,
Okay.
Hmm.
and my parents moved up north. Right after I was born for the industry and what have you.
Right.
So I cut my teeth musically during the Motown days and all that. Right at the end of when Curtis Fuller and Kenny Burrell, all those are the Detroiters, right before they blossomed and moved on.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah, I was in Detroit right in there.
Oh, okay then. Yeah, because I know that there was a lot of even in your playing, I hear a lot of Detroit. You know what
Oh
I'm
yes,
saying?
indeed.
I
Yes,
can
indeed.
I
I
can tell.
learned. You might as well call me a Detroiter because I cut my
Right.
teeth in Detroit. Yes.
Cool, man. So, okay, do you see now a lot of the stuff that's going on today, and like this year we had of course we had a setback as musicians, and we're hoping that changes. But coming out of this thing, do you see the culture changing now that we've had a chance to sit back, reevaluate everything, and as musicians retool ourselves for what's to come? Do you see that we will? Do you know rather or not if we would have a better, uh, let's say, a better appreciation for jazz culture? Uh, because it had been falling off so for the last few years, and everything had been going pretty much mostly I would call it instrumental R&B with
Hmm.
a jazz overtone, but for the most part do you see it changing, do you see the acoustic side of it coming back?
Possibly,
Yeah.
because of the fact that people have been able to sit at home and do more listening. Possibly.
Okay.
Because your airplay is still the same.
Right.
When you say the R&B with jazz overtone, that's smooth jazz.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what that is.
Yeah.
So it all depends. If people want to move that knob over to the real jazz and listen to that. But that's you can't answer that. I
Yeah,
hope so.
no, yeah, I
I
hope
hope
so
so.
too. That's all we can do, right? That's
Hmm.
all we can
Hmm.
do.
You can
Now,
never judge how the public's gonna sway.
right.
If you could, you'd be rich.
Oh yeah, and
Hmm.
we haven't been able to do that, so now you know why we where we are. But
That's
anyway,
right.
but anyway, in your background though, as far as some of the people you had worked with, like I had mentioned earlier to me and Vaughn had been talking about your association with Hamilton Bohannon
Hmm.
and your group, the Counts and everything. Can you give us a little insight on those two artists? I mean, those
Oh,
two.
oh, okay. Well, the Counts. When I was in Detroit, we formed a band. It was an organ group. It consisted of organ, guitar, sax, percussion, and drums.
Mhm.
Now, usually with an outfit like that, you're thinking like Jimmy Smith, Groove Holmes, and all of that.
Right, right.
But what we did, we we took that and we played what you could say R&B with the jazz overtones,
right.
with a jazz organ group. So it gave us a distinct sound. We had no bass player. Sorry, Edwin. We had no bass player.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, that's what organs did, though. The
Right.
organ swung the bass, which later, I'll get into that later, but, you know, synthesizers, that's why they did that, because they heard what the organ was doing. So the synthesizer basically did what the organ was doing to give you that clean, fresh bass sound. Futuristically, you might say. Stevie took it over. And I sat with him a couple of times. He sat in with us, actually, with the Counts one day, and he was playing Here I Am Baby. He was playing drums with us, and when we finished the tune, he sat there for a minute. He said, there's no bass player up here. And I said, yeah, the organ's playing the bass. And then he came back again. He brought a synthesizer, and then right after that, he started cutting stuff with a synthesizer. Never gave me the credit, but I'm telling you what happened.
Well, we know now, buddy. It's all over the world. It's all over the world now, Jack.
You know, put him out there.
Yeah,
yes, indeed, I sure did.
And if if Stevie's watching, then now he'll know. He'll go like, "Oh, I forgot," you know.
Oh yeah, he forgot. All right. Yeah, Hamilton Bohannon laughed about that. You know, Ray Parker knew. Quite a few people knew.
Okay, that's cool. So Vaughn here is with Jazz Beats Radio, and I know Vaughn got a bunch of questions to ask you.
I was, you know, once again, Mose, thank you for coming in, man. You know, and we've all struggled with this technology thing, and you know, you just welcome to the family, brother.
Yeah, really.
Oh, I'm the president. I said, why you want to leave reel to reel? Reel to reel's fine. What you talking about, a computer? What's wrong with reel to reel?
Oh my gosh, look out, you dating yourself now.
Cool, man.
But as you can see, I adjusted here.
Yeah, it takes some time. It takes some time. But I was going to ask you, because when you talked about actually using the organ to play the bass line, you know, it was just, it seemed like it was minutes ago when I heard the first time I heard that happen. And, you know, it was Bernie Worrell, who was a legend, a keyboard artist with Parliament Funkadelic. And
we toured with them.
Yeah. And it's just like when he did, when I heard
Flashlight,
that great song. Well, Flashlight was like that groundbreaking song. But didn't he do that? I think he did the same thing for the classic Chocolate City. I'm almost certain he was playing the bass line on keyboard with that composition. And it was just one of those songs that you hear, and it was so obscure, and you didn't know where it was coming from because the rhythm was like, it had a certain offbeat to it, but it was just like, he had that bass line that went dong dong dong, you know, and it was just like hammered. It was hammering, and I said, "That's no bass line by a bass doing that. What is that?" You know, and it just took off at that point. So you know, and I you know, I'm kind of, you know, a learner. I enjoy the education I get here on this program, and just knowing that was something you were doing before these guys. I mean, come on, that's just, you're revolutionary, man.
You go back to our first record, Jan Jan, and that was like, man, I think Jan Jan came out in like '69, and that was the organ, with the organ playing the bass. Then we did another one called Get Down People. All these records made the charts in the high 100. And we were known as a group with a sound because nobody was playing R&B with an organ bass line before us. We were the first. The Counts were the first. Then we had the CD, What's Up Front That Counts. And that was our biggest record. And if you want to really explore that sound, listen to that one.
So you guys were doing it before
all of them.
Booker T. Jones.
Booker T used a bass player.
Oh yeah, I know. Steve Cropper. Yeah, he had Steve Cropper.
No, Steve.
No,
Steve.
Donald Dunn.
No, not. I'm sorry.
Donald Dunn, I believe.
Yeah, Dunn. Yeah,
Dunn. Yeah.
Booker T used the bass player.
Right.
But
you know,
as far as the funk, It was us, and then after us came Tower of Power. That
Power.
bass, yeah, but he mixed in the organ bass and a bass player.
Right.
He mixed the two together.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's weird because when I was coming up with the bass, I was playing the bass, and then there was a friend of mine that played a Hammond also, and we would go out and play, and he would be playing bass also, and I was like, man, this is like awesome, right? You know what I'm saying? Because it was like supporting the range that the bass guitar didn't have, and I was like, oh man, this is great. So I went to him and started learning how to maneuver, and tonally, against an organ bass. So what
that's interesting.
Yeah. So what I ended up doing was creating I call it a electric contrabass bass guitar. And what I was doing was, of course, using an alternate tuning. And therefore, instead of, before the 5-string came out and the 6-string, basses that they have nowadays, I was already at a low B. You see what I'm saying? But I had figured out exactly what I needed to do to achieve the tone and make it play in tune. And people used to go like, man, they haven't heard a bass sound that low. And and the thing is, when they would like jam sessions, they would grab my bass. I said, wait a minute. I said, it's tuned differently. They said, oh, I got it. And when they get on there, back in the day, they used to funk in E, right? They didn't have an E string. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, everybody's looking like, what the, you know what I'm saying? What is this? You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm trying to tell you, it's not, you got to use your ears, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not there. But that's funny. But something else I wanted to ask you, Mose, like right now, I know you're a trio now that you play with. Young Marcus Williams, and well, I still call him young because he's still young to me. Marcus Williams and
Gary Wilkins.
Yeah, Gary Wilkins. You guys play up? You still up at the Weston?
Well, the COVID-19 shut that down for a minute.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so that's not happening right now.
Oh, okay.
We're doing a lot of virtual stuff and what have you. And I'm playing at the airport. I'm playing like solo piano up on Concourse A.
Oh, okay then. Yeah, that's great then, because at least it's keeping you active. You feel engaging. Yeah, and I see a lot of
the chops happening.
Yeah, and you're engaging with people. You like a lot of us musicians, we ain't got that shot right now to engage with the people. Like that on musical thing. But as a organist and a pianist, which one do you prefer?
Well, playing with the Counts, I was pure organ. We had a record deal at the time, of course, and then a guy down here lured us away from Detroit to come to Atlanta. He had a music company, and he got us away from Westbound Records, and we came here to GRC Records at the time. But that record company folded, so I found myself down here in Atlanta. And but there were no gigs for organ, so I had to quickly learn how to play piano. So it took a while because they're two different animals. Piano and organ are different. Your organ, you have your sustain. You're playing jazz with your foot. You're playing the bass line with your foot and your left hand. So I had to develop the left hand for the piano and understand how to keep the sound full, whereas with organ you can hold it down and it'll just stay full. Piano is skill. You got to play with more skill. I won't say the organ has its own sets of skills. Piano has its own set. So at this point, after playing the piano in Atlanta for quite a while, I'm working with an artist named Bernadine Mitchell that played a lot of standards and stuff like that. I developed the skill. So right now, I'd say it's about 50-50.
Oh, okay.
About 50-50.
Oh, cool.
But I was scared of the piano for a long time.
Oh yeah. When you miss that sustain and overall sound.
It's overall difference. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, what about some of the types of musicians? I don't hear young people playing organ the way I used to hear it coming up. It's almost like they're afraid of the mechanics of it.
Yeah, well, a lot of that has got to do with airplay too. they don't hear it.
Yeah.
You know, and if they do hear it, it's with you know, a rhythm section, a funk rhythm section or something, you know.
Okay. Yeah, but they're
But
they're playing mostly background then, right?
yeah. So, you know, they're not hearing Jimmy Smith. They're not hearing Jack McDuff, Groove Holmes, all those
Right.
giants that I listen to coming up.
Right.
They don't get to hear it. And if you go out live, you're not finding that anywhere in Atlanta.
Right. Yeah, well, anywhere almost.
Anywhere.
Yeah, right. But I do know that you mentioned Groove Holmes. I remember when he was playing over at the Aqua Lounge over in Birmingham. And I went over there and with some other people that I knew, and man, he just like, it was like this guy is like off the chain, you know.
He's insane. He was insane.
He was insane, man. And what was funny to me was he had tone cabinets. Both sides of the stage, you know, there were tone cabinets. He had the 900s, he had the 147s, 145s, he had all kinds of stuff, you know. And man, I was like, man, he's just killing it up here with this stuff, you know. There's and there was a lot of people in the audience, and he carried around, just like you did, a trio, organ trio, which was a guitar player, drummer, and himself. And man, they just filled the room up like nobody's business. You know what I'm saying? It was like no holds barred. Now, do you think that how do you, I know that you have adapted to the new culture of having the sequencer type keyboards and everything with you, but are you still trying to get that sound out of those keyboards?
Well, I was blessed to be a Hammond representative. Through Hammond, they turned me on to this. It's you call it the organ that the guys were playing back in the day was called a Hammond B3, correct?
B3,
yeah. Okay, well now I got one from them. It's like a B3, but it's the size you can put it in your trunk. You know, so I can get that sound now without moving a 400-pound organ. You know?
Right.
Yeah. So technology has fixed it so that I can get that sound.
Well, the good thing is you embracing it. That's the good thing.
Oh yeah.
That keeps you relevant. You know, right about now in today's mix of performing. You know, so as long as you're creating, you're still able to create and so forth. And now does it have drawbars like the old Hammond?
It's just like it's the same setup as a B3. It's the same setup as this, if you're seeing it. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah, we can see.
But it's the same setup as this, but other beneath this on the regular organ, you have all this 400-pound stuff here. All that's eliminated. It looks like this.
Right.
It looks like this. It's about this size.
Okay.
You know, so they have technology has fixed it so that you don't need all that size, and they've got a small. You were talking about the speakers on the side of the stage. They've condensed that down, but I can put a complete organ in my van now. Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Now the pedals, that's another matter.
Okay,
you know, that might be another show.
Oh, I got you.
But yeah, I'm gonna work on that. They do have some pedals that you can buy, but you know, they're nothing like what you see here.
Right.
You know,
Right.
And they don't have that, but other than that, it is a complete organ.
Oh,
and so I have one of those.
Oh yeah, right. All right. Well, I know the next time we're outdoors with a concert, we're gonna have to ask you to bring your organ.
Oh, I'm definitely bringing it. Definitely bringing it. No ask. Yeah.
I got you.
So that's my rig these days. I carry the piano and the organ with me, so I can do them both.
Oh, cool. Now, do you have a new project, right? You have a new CD that you've done?
I'm working on a new one. I've had two solo CDs, Sunshine and Let the Music Take You. Okay. Those two, they're in a space of I'd say 4 years. I put those out.
Okay.
But I'm working on a new one called Swing Shift.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll be out in January.
Now with a name like that, is that going to require a lot of swing?
I would say about 40% of it would be swing.
Okay. Cool, man. That'll work. Now, where like as far as the first two that you got, where can they get that or hear that?
Amazon, YouTube, all those internet accesses, all
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, and all they do is just put your name in.
Put the name in, that stuff will
Yeah.
pop up.
Oh, cool, man. Now,
Love it. Love it.
yeah. Now, Vaughn, because Vaughn at Jazz Beats, he's probably gonna start pumping your stuff up pretty much. So,
Oh,
and I'm waiting to hear the new one. But you know how
all
that
he
goes.
had to do was mention where I could find it.
That's what I was. Yeah, I got him now. You know, we got him now. We'll pull
got
it now.
And if you didn't, I'd make sure you did.
I'm sure you would.
That's all right. So what else? So what else you got going? I know you're working on a new project, and is anything changing for you as far as the concept right now of the music?
Yeah, I'm like the title suggests, swing shift. I want to go back into that, like
Yeah.
I've adjusted and I do the modern stuff, but
Right.
I kind of want to ease back into the swing a little bit,
Okay.
I'm gonna walk up so I can plug you in. My phone is losing power.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
gonna change rooms and plug you up here, so we
That's
won't
cool.
get lost.
All right.
But yeah, I play a little bit more serious music along with the popular stuff. So that's pretty much it. And I want to play more organ because all the musicians tell me, man, you need to get back on that organ. So
yeah, they're telling you that, but they're not going to help you lift it, right?
Oh no. Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna tell you that, but they're not gonna be the ones to reach down and touch. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Yeah, you need to play more organ, man.
But anyway, so what is it that now to get a hold of you for people that want to get a hold of you, just to follow you, what platforms can you tell them they can go to?
Well, you can go to Facebook, to my page on there. There's mosedavis.net that you can go to. I've got to update it, however. And that's pretty much it.
Oh, okay. And you got an email.
Yeah, Davis7259 at bellsouth.net, right?
Yeah, there it is. And so Vaughn, well, where can everybody hit you up at?
Well, the usual haunts, jazzbeatsradio.com. That is the webpage for Jazz Beats Radio, and you can find me on there. Click on the a little icon that says personalities and find out where I come from, how I got into this music, and what my goals are to try to maintain the preservation of this art form in all aspects, and just continue to educate people, bridge the gap, make sure that the new kids know about the old school and how there's really no difference in between the music whatsoever. It's all soul. That's what it is. It's just all soul. And so you can also find me at Instagram at Von Coulter. And also my new YouTube page is called Soulscapes on Jazz Beats Radio. You can find me there as well. And I try to tap into all these other platforms and everything, but that keeps me too busy. I can't get enough. I'm always downloading music for the show, so that's where you will find me at, because on my show there is no expiration date with the music. If it's good,
it's good. Right. Okay. Can you hear me, Vaughn?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here.
Because I some kind of way I lost Mose, but you can reach me at Edwin Williams base 4 at yahoo.com. Also, you can also reach Jazz Matters. This website is yesjazzmatters.org. That's yesjazzmatters.org. And you can also go. We are launching a new Jazz Matters store. It is an apparel store. You go and check it out. And Vaughn is modeling the shirt for us right now, which is a good thing. And all right, Vaughn, take it easy now. But anyway, you can reach us. You can go there. You can go to yesjazzmatters.org and you can find a link for the Jazz Matters store. We're having a grand opening right now. It's an online store, and you can go ahead and purchase whatever apparel you need to keep you with us, and making sure that, we want you to subscribe to us. We want you to like us, and please do, so that we can continue to bring you what's happening around here and who's happening around here in Atlanta. And Jazz Matters is also about to launch podcast live performances. So just make sure you subscribe to us, and make sure that you go to the link yesjazzmatters.org. And Vaughn, I think we'll wrap it up for today, because we just lost Mose. He fell off the face of the earth here, but we'll get back with him, and we'll talk to him again, as well as talk to you, the
Yes,
public, again.
All right.
All right.
Good.
All right. Thanks.
Peace out.
Peace.